Okay, B'siyata Dishmaya, we are here in Shari Yichud in Tzfat Kodesh, Shushan Purim, today in the surrounded cities, here in Eretz Yisrael, in Yerushalayim Kodesh. And we're going to be learning about Sfekot B'shat Ma'aseh, doubts at the time when you come to do something and a person has an arousal of a doubt. What goes on then? Again, we're in this book of Darkecha, Holy Confidence, a book called Bivadai. And we've been talking about the importance of holy confidence and the need for it in all facets of life, especially in our Avodat Hashem, and how it affects many different facets of our life and our spirituality. And now we're at the end of the book, we're talking about doubts, the opposite side of the holy confidence, right? What to do when we have doubts. So when we come to do something, what do we do at that moment? We already mentioned before that what we say every day, Vayivarech David, the prayer that we say every single day in Shacharit. Vayivarech David is a Reshet Evot, is an acronym of the word Vadai, certainty. Vayivarech David et Adonai, and David blessed Hashem. What does that mean? It's an acronym, it's a hint for confidence. And the Arizal says Vadai is a holy name. The Arizal says that this word Vadai is one of the holy names of Hashem, and by way of that name, David had the power to get through whatever he was going through. He would use this acronym, right? Vav Dalet Aleph Yud, and that's a holy name of Hashem, and he would use it to get through all of his tests. So too, all the tzaddikim did this in a way of Vadai, right? They were certain on their path. This level of certainty is a level that we need. And for sure, the tzaddikim, they learned, and they received, and they listened, right? They had to grow to become who they were. But when it came to practically doing the work that they had to do, after they already had summarized the idea in their heart, they learned, they listened, they understood, and now I have to go do something, then they lived with a level of strength that came from their certainty, from their vadai. Ki ze ratzon Hashem yitbarach. This is the will of Hashem. Aklalu, the rule is, shasfekot hem signon shel hayetzer hara. Doubts are a certain type of tool from the yetzer hara, from the evil inclination. V'lo hasignon shel hayetzer hara tov. Doubts is not the way that the good inclination comes to you. The evil inclination uses doubts. The good side doesn't. He doesn't need to use a doubt. Therefore, you should never have suspicion, you should never be startled by doubts. The way of good is in holy confidence. Yes, this is the right thing to do. Yes, this feels good. Yes, whether it feels good or not, I know it's the right thing to do. I don't have a doubt about it. I know it's good. And even when a person makes a mistake, your good inclination, when you make a mistake, then your good inclination comes and tells you, hey, you're better than that. That wasn't right. Come on. Let's push, let's try a little bit harder. It comes with a level of clarity and not in a way of confusion and bringing you down. Your Yetzer Tov, even when you make mistakes, is pushing you up and saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. A lot of times a person has a doubt between these two sides. Both are fitting and both are good. And he doesn't know what to decide. What's the will of Hashem? What should I do? How much? How? And even when the person's told what to do, and they give a person advice, you ask advice, you go to a tzaddik, you go to a rav, you ask a friend for advice, you ask your parents, and they give you advice, and they tell you what to do. This is how to do it. Do this. You have a doubt there. Did I understand properly? Was that what they said? Was it this? What was the exact advice? And all of these doubts, they are what ruin our avodat Hashem. They are what ruin our connection to Hashem. That's why we need confidence. We have to think responsibly, and we have to think seriously. What is the right thing to do? according to what I know right now, according to everything I have in my toolkit right now and everything I understand right now, to really, really think really quick. To think and to process with responsibility, with seriousness, with focus, according to what I know right now, what is the right thing for me to do? And to pray to Hashem, that Hashem will rectify us and give us a proper good advice. And then I do without any doubts, without any shadow of a doubt, without any suspicions, and I put my full trust on Hashem, that Hashem will not prevent good for those who walk simply and innocently on His path. This is all I knew was right now. I thought about it, I was serious, I took the time to contemplate what is the proper thing to do according to what I know. Then I move forward fully and I lean on Hashem. If I did that, whatever is going to be, either way is going to be good, right? But when I do that, I know now that there's no room for doubts. There's no room for negativity. There's no room for the other side. And this isn't the meaning that you should feel if you're young and you're just beginning your Avodat Hashem, or you're a young person in life and right, you're just getting on the path that you know it all. That's not what we're saying here. You know it all. Most of us don't know anything. Right? We need to know how to receive from people. We need to know how to receive advice, to learn, to serve Talmidei Chachamim, to be connected to holy people, to help them out, to be closer and closer, to learn how they act, what are their ways, to learn from the good that they do and to learn from the bad that they do. Things that you wouldn't want to be like them. Right? You can learn also those things. And you don't have to judge a person. You just say, that's not something I want to do. I would do. That's something I would want to do. I don't understand why he did it. That's one thing. But the action itself, don't want to do it. So too, and the good things, obviously. Right? I want to be more like that. I would like to learn how to do that. I would like to understand that even if I'm not going to do it, what's the meaning behind it? The closer you get to holier people, the more you grow. The more you're able to grow. Because they have confidence. They do what they do every day. They do their avodah without asking questions. Right? And everybody on their level, when you're coming in, you have to learn from other people that no matter what, they show up. They learn. They do what they have to do. They don't give up on themselves. Right? All these different things. But a person has to learn. He has to learn from a person. We're not saying that you don't. You be so confident that you think you know everything and you don't have to ask the questions. You have to ask the questions. Everybody has their own domain though. Everyone's responsible for themselves. You have to ask the questions. You have to come to the decision. You have to figure out what is the path. Sometimes there's things that you can't ask. There's no one to ask at that time, or it's not right to ask. It's something that only you could answer. It's between you and Hashem. And whatever you understand there, according to what you already received, according to what you've already learned, according to what you've already understood, then you have to do. I know such and such, I have a question in life. Well, no one to ask deeper, and I have to go inside and figure out what is it that I know, what do I know to be true and what do I know to be wrong, what's going to bring me closer to Hashem, what's not. According to Torah, what I know, and according to myself, what I know. Right? Then I move forward. When I've gone through that process, in the beginning, this process, this area of movement is very limited, right? And slowly but surely it grows. As a person learns more, right, they're able to expand their boundaries. They're able to understand more of what they need to do in life. And in that framework of what you understand at that moment, of what level you're on at that time, you have to be able to do whatever you've learned and whatever you've understood in life. And to act according to your understandings. That's it. Excuse me, everybody. The more you understand the details, the more you understand the general rules and the principles, and the more you grow in spirituality, so too this area of certainty grows, right? In the beginning you only know Aleph, so you're confident in Aleph. But Bet, Gimel, Dalet, and Hey, you start to get confused. But then, through life and making decisions, Because the worst thing is to have doubts. Sometimes we just need to move forward. And if we made a mistake, we get back up and we just keep moving forward. Right? Not making a decision is making a decision to not make a decision. And to be stuck in a realm of doubt, which is Gematria Amalek, which we have to get rid of. We have to be able to move forward at all times. And from knowing Aleph, I start to make mistakes, I start to make success. And I grow, and Hashem helps me to understand Bet. And then Gimel, and Dalet, and then I can start to make permutations and put words together. Right? And my level of confidence grows, and I'm able to do more because I'm not having to ask questions every 2 seconds. I learned, I apply. I learn, I apply. I learn, and I apply. And I just keep making forward progress. The main rule is, whatever you don't know, you need to ask, and you can't be embarrassed to ask. You can't be shy. But whatever was already put into your domain, into your responsibility, into your understanding, there you have to believe in Hashem fully, that Hashem will never leave you and not abandon you, and you have to do. You have to just do. You have to start going out and fighting the war and doing it. Because if you don't do that, then you'll never know what to do. Right? And if you don't have babies, you don't have adults. People have to grow up. This is the way of life. Right? All of us are beginners in different things in life, in spirituality. Some things we're used to, some things we're good at, some things it's become habit, it's become nature. And even there's levels of growth. Okay, so now you do it every day, but can you start to put your heart into it? Can you feel something when you do it? Can you know that there's a ton of light behind that halacha? Like we were talking about before, right? That's already Likutei Halachot. Once I know it, I'm doing it, and then I go deeper and I go deeper and I do. This is what's called Shimusha Shel Torah. The application, the using, the doing of the Torah. That slowly but surely a person starts to grasp what's right, at what time, in what setting, when. You start to build this map, right, to connect all the dots. Okay, that's the right thing to do, but not in that way at this time. Right? We don't talk to angry people. Angry people, we let them calm down. We don't try to go back and forth and explain anything. Something that Chazal teach us. Is it right to tell people good things and to try to fix them and to try to help them to grow? Yes. When they're in rage? No. Right? So you start to map out what's the right thing. And how do you learn that? From being around other people that have already learned it, that have been living this life, that have been in the principles of the Torah and the ethics of the Torah. Slowly but surely you start to learn. And it's right, it's not always. There's people and there's people. Right? There's people that dress the part but they don't live it, and there's people that don't dress and they live it. It's all different types and all different mixtures. But by being around it and learning the ways of the Torah from people that are already in it, you start to grow. And then you know what to do in each situation, in each case. וכששאל ולמד ושימש תלמיד חכם, אזי מוכרח הוא לפעול גם בעצמו. When you have asked and you learned and you served and you've been around Talmidei Chachamim, then it has to be that you also have to do something yourself. And you always have to remember that you have to pray to Hashem. Give me the proper advice, give me the proper strategy to get this holy thing done. But once the time has come for me to do it, I gotta go. That's it. I have to go, I have to do it. Step up to the plate. And that leads us into Reshut HaYichid and Reshut HaRabim, the public domain and the personal domain. There's a beautiful sign here to be able to settle all the doubts when it comes to how am I meant to behave and how I'm meant to do my spiritual work that I need to do. And whoever uses this will see wonders. And that is, when a person has a doubt what to do in life, then the positive side, the right side, says his claim quietly and with delicacy. Right? You have a person who has two voices in their head. Do this thing or do this thing. Usually, the good thing to do will be the quieter voice in your head, the more calm, relaxed one. So he's just saying one thing, clear, without questions. It's that voice that just keeps coming back to that same point. The other side is this and that and maybe that, and it's a bunch of balagan and mess and uncertainty. And the right thing to do is usually just this quiet voice, delicate, same message, same simple message with no complications. Just settle there, waiting for you to pick it. I am who I am. I'm not trying to impress anybody, not trying to be anything. No confusion over here. This is what it is. I'm the good inclination. Nice, quiet message. I'm going to place this here right in front of you. When you want, it's right here resting for you. Right? Sammy on the other side is dancing around, making all this noise, trying to pull you into different ways. The Yetzer Hara comes in a place, in a way of Reshut HaRabim. Right? Whereas the Yetzer HaTov, the good inclination, is this personal domain. Here in my own little world, I'm okay, I know who I am. The Yetzer Hara wants to be public, wants to be out, wants to be grand. A lot of different opinions, a lot of different causes and reasons. And if this reason's not enough, then you have this reason. And if not that, then another one. If you took any of those individual reasons and causes that the Yetzer Hara is bringing, each individual one would be easy to get rid of. Easy to say, that's not a real reason, that's not a real cause, that's not legitimate. So you have to bring a bunch. One was not enough. So then I need another reason, I need another way to try to convince you, another thing, that person's going to be there, this, that. All these different reasons that you're trying to get behind this, in this question, is just showing you that each individual one by itself can't stand. Meanwhile, the Yetzer Tov is on the other side with that same thing, just saying that one message. Confidence. One message. Clear as day. This is the right thing to do. I don't need a lot of noise. I don't need to try to prove it to you. I'm certain this is it. Why does the Yetzer Hara bring all of these different opinions and this majority and this abundance of thoughts and calculations? Because he's trying to make noise, he's trying to confuse you, and that's the biggest sign. So what's a way for us to know? What's a way for us to tap into clarity of what's the right thing to do when I have a doubt in life? A person has two different things going on, a good inclination and an evil inclination, two opinions, two options in front of them. Try to listen to the voices in each side and separate each side. Which one's quieter? Which one's just saying one simple message, and which one's bringing a whole bunch of noise? Usually the Yetzer Tov is going to be the quiet, more confident, one message one, without all the balagan, without all the noise, right? Itai, I love you too, brother. And then we come to doubts after the action. A lot of times, after I finish something and I did something good, there comes a thought, maybe I wasn't yotzei, maybe I didn't the right thing, maybe it wasn't that good, maybe there was opinions that it could have been better. Here we have to go with all of your heart into the strength of looking at Hashem in the proper way. How to really understand what is Hashem looking at. To recognize that Hashem has infinite love and mercy on every single one of us. And to be aware that Hashem wants only the good for each one of us. We have to understand, who is Hashem? It's not some person in heaven with a beard and a stick trying to whip you. No, that's not Hashem. Let other nations be confused in that for a few more years until Mashiach comes and takes them out of their nonsense. Us, we have to know Hashem loves us infinitely. He's happy with every single thing that we could do to connect to Him. Even if it's 99% filled with problems and mistakes and not according to halacha, you did it from your heart to connect to Hashem? Really? And according to where you know, you're growing, so you don't know everything. You know 1%, but you did 1% with all your heart. That 1% is higher than anybody else's 100%. You started to learn more, you can do now 4%, even better. Still with the heart though, Hashem loves you so much more. 3% more revelation in your life, because you took a step. It keeps going like that, but you do it with your heart, you do it with truth and with certainty, because you know Hashem loves you and He has infinite mercy, and He's so happy that His son and His daughter just tried to do something to connect Him. For sure, He's like a father that's just happy to see his kid playing, being happy, doing the right thing. And Hashem, He waits. He'll wait for you to come back from your mistakes. If you step off the path, if you slip up, no matter how long it is, Hashem's just waiting for you to come back. But He's happy and He loves you. And when you come back, before any punishments, before any consequences, before any deep conversations, it's a hug and a kiss. Thank you, my son, my daughter, you came home. I'm happy you're here. I've been waiting so long for you to come back to me. I'm not angry at you. Mess? Yeah, there's a mess. We're going to have to clean up the mess. But I'm so happy you're here right now. That's Hashem. That's what we need to know Hashem is. The person has to be precise with their actions. They need to learn halacha. They need to know, right? They need to know how to act. But you have to know that Hashem loves you. You can't just say, oh, Hashem loves me, I can do whatever I want, I don't need to learn halacha, all these ancient books and codes and laws of how a Jew... No, that is Torah. That was given to us by Hashem. Don't put the rabbi... It's not the rabbi's teachings. It's lights that came through the rabbi by way of him being deeply connected to Hashem. Take any of the rabbis that wrote these books and look at their life, study their life, the 24/7 that they go through, you'll see that the majority of what they're writing is not from them. Because they don't live for themselves. They live on a much higher wavelength. It's not their Torah. It's not their ideas. It came down through them, so yeah, the pipe has an influence on the light, the clarity of the light that's coming out, right? But the pipeline is there to serve a purpose, to connect light to beings down here. The Torah that we have is deep, 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 deep Torah, and a person has to keep halacha and learn halacha, and find all the gems and the connection that's inside the halacha, inside keeping the mitzvot. You can't just say Hashem loves me. He'll let it slide. Hashem doesn't let anything slide. Chazal says whoever thinks that a person is Hashem is a vatran, Hashem just lets things slide. He doesn't take account of it. Yivatu chayav. Your life will just be left past like that then too. You think that's how it is? Hashem cares about every fine detail. You want Hashem to care about every fine detail, because then Hashem's in every fine detail. You think Hashem doesn't care and He doesn't look? He might stop looking. That's the curse of the snake, right? Curse of the snake, go eat whatever you want. Here's an Amex card, take as much money as you want, just don't ask me for anything. There's kids in the world that have parents like this, right? And their parents don't have the time for them, so they just give them money. Feed them an allowance, just don't ask me for stuff. It's not a relationship of dependency. With Hashem, we have to feel completely dependent. We're not independent at all. Amongst humans, we can be independent. We have to feel independent. Why? Because we're so dependent on Hashem. Not because we can actually do it ourselves. Right? We can't do anything ourselves. We need to lean on Hashem completely. So we have to learn the halacha and the Torah that He gave us. You can't look down on Torah and halacha and the institutions that we have in Judaism for the past 3,000 years. You have to do everything in your mind to learn how to be a kosher, keeping, Shomer Shabbat, Torah observant, learning, praying. You have to learn how to do it. If you're a Jew, if you're a Ben Noach, you have to learn how to keep the 7 Noahide laws and how to pray and how to open your heart to Hashem and meditate on Hashem as well. You have to ask the rabbis the questions. You have to ask your leaders the questions. But after a person did whatever he could, now you have to be calm. You have to be happy with your portion. You have to know that Hashem is happy with everything that you did. What's the general rule here? It's like a father and a son. If a son disrespected his father, a child disrespected their father and went against his instructions, so then for sure the father is going to be angry at the kid. But a kid, a son, a daughter that puts in a lot of effort to do the will of their father, even in the end, if a mistake comes out, his father's not going to get angry at him. No, let me help you to do it the right way. I see you really put in the effort, you love me, you try to do something good for me, you made a mistake, let's clean it up. I'm going to scream at a kid for making a mistake when he tried to pour you a glass or make you a cup of tea or something. You're going to scream at him? He's trying to do something good for you. It's okay, I understand what you're trying to do. Same thing with Hashem. You want to do the right thing, you made a mistake, but you were trying to do the right thing, okay, it's okay. Hashem will help you to fix it up, clean up the mess. You want to disrespect, you don't care, that's not alright. We have to know that Hashem is good and He does good and He only wants to do good and He's not trying to catch us and to punish us and to break us down. All the intentions of all the mitzvot are just to bring us closer, that we'll be able to be recognizing Hashem in our lives and to see Hashem in our lives and be connected more. So then even though you have to do everything according to the halacha, like the Ramban says in this area, but it can't be in a way of doubts and stress and did I do it right? Was it okay? Maybe I was late, maybe this, I didn't say that word right. Relax. That's just going to push your heart away from Hashem as far as possible. Who wants to go through their day like that, questioning if everything was okay, if everything was right? If I try to do something really, really good for Hashem, is He happy? Or is it maybe I did it wrong, He's going to punish me now? No, come on. That's not our God. I don't believe in that God. That's not who I'm praying to. A God that looks down at me like that, trying to break me down, and He didn't, one word was off. Where's your heart? Hashem wants your heart. That's what the rabbis teach us more than anything. The whole entire Zohar is just filled with the heart. Was your heart there? Now that you finished doing the thing, calm down, relax. Hashem loves you. You just made Him so happy. Everything's okay. Everything was perfect. It's done, it was perfect. Beforehand, okay, you could try to learn, you could do this according to your level again. You're not over there, you're not Him, so don't try to compare yourself to how He did it. He's been doing it for 16, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You don't need to be like Him. You need to be at your level according to what you know, according to what you've asked, and what you've understood, and what you've heard. And then to do with all of your might. You have to learn the halacha as you go, and when you have to do it, you do according to what you've learned. Not more. Don't get confused. Just don't get confused. Think when you start to get confusion and stress and anxiety and all these questions of did I do it right or not, in an unhealthy way, maybe there's that opinion, maybe there's that opinion, maybe there's that opinion. That's the voice of the Yetzer Hara. Right? Hashem is infinite love. Hashem wants to help you. Even before you come to do something, right? Also, and after as well. You have to be happy. It's a mitzvah. You're coming to connect to Hashem. Believe that it's going to be received with love. Hashem loves you. He wants you to connect to you. Before you do the mitzvah, just stop and say, okay, I'm about to put on tefillin. I'm about to pray to Hashem. I'm about to read Tehillim. I'm about to light Shabbat candles. I'm about to get dressed in a modest way for the honor of Hashem. Be happy. Afterwards, be happy. I did the right thing. The Torah wasn't given to the angels. It was for human beings. Sometimes we make mistakes. We're not perfect. We'll never be perfect. Once I already did it, throw out all the doubts. I know that this is the truth. This was the right thing. I came with my heart, and that's all I could have done. That's all I could have done. Just going to push through, finish it up. To wrap it up, this idea, in our doubts, in Avodat Hashem, we have to be very, very careful. Because most of the time, our doubts in our Avodat Hashem, in our spirituality, in our connection to Hashem, the doubts come from the negative side. They come from the evil inclination. In order to make a person weaker in their spirituality. The way to check it, and to get the right advice, and whenever you have a voice, you have to check, you have to get the right advice, you have to ask the questions, you have to clarify it, these voices inside. But after that, you already make a decision, you have to push forward without any confusion. You have to believe in the importance of your actions, and the mitzvah or the thing that you're doing right now. It's intensely powerful, it's filled with light, it's the will of the Creator for you to do it right now at this moment. It's the right thing to be doing. You have nothing else in the world that's important when you have a mitzvah in front of you. Nothing else could matter. And even more so after the act. You have to be happy, and you have to believe that Hashem, the loving Father in heaven, is happy with everything you just did and is receiving it with love. Because Hashem is good and He wants to do good. Specifically, the way to know that it's coming from the Yetzer Hara is everything that brings depression, brings softness, and cools down your Avodat Hashem and the passion you have to Hashem, it's rooted in the Yetzer Hara, for sure. It's rooted there. And why do I need to know it's rooted there? To not listen to Him. to recognize his voice, to recognize the way he talks to me, to recognize what is going on when it's coming from that side. Usually it's coming with, chill out, relax, you don't have to do it, or you didn't do it right, it wasn't good enough, but in a way that stop trying because you can't do it right anyway. You're never going to do it right, you're never going to be perfect, you're never going to do it like him, or like it was written there. You're never going to reach that level, you're not worthy of it. All that's from the negative side. The Yetzer Hara is a test, it's a voice coming there to put an obstacle, you're meant to break through it. So you can't let him confuse you, you have to recognize the voice and straight away push him away. But the Yetzer Tov is coming with a voice of hope, with a voice of light, with power. It's done with tranquility, with pleasantness. You're doing the right thing. It's okay. Hashem loves you. No, but what do you mean Hashem loves me? But I didn't do it. No, same message. Hashem loves you. It's okay. I don't need to explain to you why. I'm just telling you, Hashem loves you. You're okay. Everything you did was right. It was perfect. That voice is also there. We also have to recognize that voice, to be able to hear it, to believe it, and to make it the most important than the louder voice inside our head, and the one that talks more, even if it's just repeating that same simple message. I want to hear it again and again and again, that Hashem loves me, that I'm good, that my actions are good. I just flipped all of the worlds for good. I just brought the whole entire world closer to Hashem. That voice is also in your head. It might be deep, 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 deep down inside, but the more you want to hear it, the more you'll hear it. And the type of doubts that I can't decide, I can't make a decision, those are the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Tov speaks with confidence, right? If you can't get to a rabbi right now, if you can't open a book to learn what the right thing is to do, you have to make a decision and you have to move forward. You have to make a decision, move forward. Afterward, you come to a rabbi, you come to a book, you can check the halacha, you can see if you did the right thing or not. You see you made a mistake, okay, do tshuva. Hashem, I did the wrong thing. I regret doing it. I didn't know better, and I'm trying to be better, and I'm going to take upon myself to learn the halacha properly and to do it better in my life. That's it. Back to being happy with Hashem. Continue on your day. That was tshuva. Tshuva is not now you have to fast for 2 days because of some halacha. No. I regret, I confess, try to build a fence to be better, and go back to being happy with Hashem. Moving forward. That's tshuva. When it comes to avodah, when it comes to spirituality, not halacha, not law, but avodah, of working on myself and coming closer to Hashem, the Yetzer Hara comes with many, many thoughts, many, many opinions. And the Yetzer Tov comes again with clarity, with quietness, with straight, fine, acute clarity. One voice. Nice long idea to finish off here. Let's see. So essentially he's telling us we have to learn what's the right thing to do, and we have to strengthen that. We have to have confidence, and that comes with knowledge. It comes with knowing what the right thing is to do in any given moment. For example, he brings you an example, a person doesn't feel good physically, they don't feel good. And he says to a person says to himself, okay, I know Hashem does everything, and He heals everybody, and the souls of everybody's in His hands, but I also have to do something, and I have to take some medicine. And so then he goes to the doctor. This sentence looks kosher, looks simple. Yeah. Hashem runs the world, He's the healer, He's this, and He's behind me, and He brought this down to me right now. But I have to do what I have to do, and I have to go to the doctor. But if we really look and we contemplate, we'll see here that there's a certain venom, and this venom ruins the holy certainty that we have to have, the holy confidence that we have to have. And it puts the person into doubts and into confusion. Because if we really contemplate, we'll see that if a person who thinks this way, he's saying, Chas v'Shalom, that there's Hashem, that He's the healer, but there's also the doctor. There's something outside of Hashem. Because when a person says, true, Hashem does everything, but, so then that but is already a gateway to get out of that truth and to go into something else. I have to do ishtadlut. Hashem's behind everything, but I have to do something. You just went out of the truth and went into another room of I have to do something, or the doctor has to do something. And if it's that way in the mind, so then when you start to go do the ishtadlut, when you start to go make your effort and to go to the doctor, so then it's done without Hashem. It's done separate of Hashem. It's a mundane thing. Hashem's not here, the doctor's office. And chas v'chalila, all of the outcomes of that mindset and that action. And if you ask the obvious question now, we do have to go to the doctor, we do have to do something, we do have to put effort in this world. So what are you saying? It's true, Hashem's behind everything, and I have to do what I have to do. The answer is, you have to do it, but without the word but. Hashem's behind everything, and I need to go to the doctor. Not but I need to go to the doctor. Hashem provides all money, but I have to work 2 extra hours to pay rent this month. No. You could work the same amount of hours and still get the money from a different place. Who says it has to come from your job? Hashem's behind everything. Who says that means you need to change your whole entire life? The second you start to do that, you're leaving the mindset of Hashem's behind everything and you're stepping into the mindset of, I have to do something. The way and the thought has to be like this. Hashem does everything. Simply put, that's it. Hashem does everything. Without any buts, without anything else. Hashem does everything. And then you add to think how Hashem does everything, and He is the one that commanded me to do some kind of effort in this world, some kind of physical action in this world. Therefore, I'm going to go do His will. And when I have a health problem, I'm going to go to the doctor to fulfill the will of Hashem that put me in a world where I have to do a physical action to reveal Hashem's will. And in that way, my ishtadlut, my effort, is part of the truth. And it's not something separate. It's not detached from Hashem now. It's not a but I have to do something. It's, and this is how Hashem created the world. And this is Hashem's will that I do this thing. And then the whole way I grasp it, the whole way I go to do it, and I talk to the doctor, I do whatever it is that I do, I show up to work, it's all going to be in alignment with the truth, because the doctor is not separate from Hashem. He doesn't have any power that comes separate from Hashem. It's an obligation I have to do. Hashem put me in a world where I have to show up in front of this person, but it's Hashem that's revealing His healing powers down to me right now by way of me showing up to this office. Not that the doctor has his own power. And when your ishtadlut, when your effort in life and your actions in life are part of the truth, then you start to see how really there's such a small portion of what's really going on. How tiny your ishtadlut is in comparison to the hand of Hashem that's going on behind everything that you're doing. And then you start to do your ishtadlut in a proper measure. You see that you don't need to do so much. Adding 2 more hours of work every day, of overtime, to be able to pay the bill, stressed you out in a way that you couldn't connect to Hashem. And maybe if you would have just prayed more and done less, that guy would have came out of nowhere, handed you off money. That investment comes out of nowhere. That stock goes up. You get a bonus. You get a sale. who says you have to add more? Maybe you have to add more bitachon, you have to add more tefillah, you have to add more mitzvot, but not necessarily you have to work more, because Hashem is behind everything. No buts. No ifs. Hashem is behind everything. Simply put. Then I can go out and act and do and try in this world and do actions without any stress, without any worry, without any, am I going to fail? Am I going to succeed? Am I going to get pride? Am I going to get embarrassed? I'm doing what I have to do. Full emunah in Hashem, that Hashem is the one that's doing everything really. And the Yetzer Hara is just trying to come and get a person to forget about Hashem. And he's trying to put that aval. Once you finish with it, yeah, you did it, but. No buts. I was who I was right before I did the thing. I went inside seriously with responsibility to try to figure out what was the right way to do it. I did it. No buts now. Hashem loves me. There's a voice in there that maybe there's something that he has a point, he's saying some truth, because usually Sammy, the Yetzer Hara, has a little bit of, he uses the truth to hit you, right? Okay, I'll go ask the question. Hey Rabbi, I did this and this and this. I really wanted to connect to Hashem, I tried to do this. Was it okay? The intention was right, but there's a right way to do it. You should have done it like this. Okay, great. Next time I'm going to do it like that. Simple. No drama. No going to hell and burning and now you screwed up and your life is over and you have to... No, it's okay. It's okay. I learned by my mistakes and now I won't make that mistake anymore because I cared enough to ask the question. But from the voice and the advice of the Yetzer Tov, that there's a way to grow from this. When I have holy certainty, I have to know the truth without any buts. There's no mistake here. Hashem is here. God forbid to think anything besides that. Hashem is here. I have to hold on to that truth and I have to know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. Hashem's behind everything. He's doing everything. And there's no buts in this story. It's all just Hashem. I have to do effort. I have to put in effort. But that's part of the truth. It's not something separate from the will of Hashem. It's not me doing something. It's what Hashem wanted me to do. Hashem is just using my body to reveal His light in the world. The Yetzer Hara comes to tell you, it's important to be holy and to push, but, you need to really calm down. No buts. No buts in our story. When it comes to connection to Hashem, we're pushing forward with balance, right? Without confusion, without stress, because I'm certain I'm doing the right thing on my level. And I'm not trying to be anybody else, and I'm not trying to become anything else that I'm not. Just trying to remove the layers so my soul can shine. It's my soul that I want it to be revealed. It's the light of Hashem. It's the ray of Hashem that's coming out into this world. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm not trying to wear anyone else's garments. Just to do what I know to be right at this moment. And to grow in that, area of certainty and confidence of what I know to be true in this world. Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. That is our learning. And that is actually the completion of this beautiful little book called Bevadai, Holy Certainty. Be'ezrat Hashem. All of it is on YouTube in a nice playlist called Holy Confidence on my channel. Be'ezrat Hashem. Tap in to watch it from the beginning.